Hello, and welcome to a word of hope for Wednesday, June 24th, the Solemnity of the Nativity of St. John the Baptist. My name is Father Jordan DeGuire, and I'm here in the chapel of St. Catherine of Siena House in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Like I said, today we're celebrating the Solemnity of the Nativity, the birth of St. John the Baptist. It's sort of an interesting feast day, because most saints throughout the year, we celebrate their feast on the anniversary of their death, what we call their heavenly birthday, the day they entered into heavenly life. But for three saints, we also celebrate their earthly birthday. Jesus, we celebrate his birth at Christmas. The Virgin Mary on September 8th, 9 months after the Immaculate Conception. And today, St. John the Baptist, the forerunner of Jesus Christ. This isn't just the church being sentimental. We don't just put the birthday on the calendar out of affection, but it's making a very particular theological claim. See, because the church celebrates saints. So to celebrate the birthday of St. John the Baptist, the earthly birthday, is to say that from the very day of his birth, John was a saint. Most of us, right, we're born in a state of original sin. We're baptized, but even then it takes years cooperating with God's grace, of struggling against sin and vice, become holy. But John the Baptist, from the very day of his birth, has that gift of holiness, of sainthood from God. He has it because he's been called to play a particular role in God's plan. See, John is the one who bridges from the Old Testament to the New. He's the last of the prophets, who recognizes Jesus as the Christ, the Messiah, who recognizes that the time of promise has now become the time of fulfillment. And that role, it takes an incredible spiritual maturity from John to recognize who Jesus is, to announce it fearlessly, even more the humility to give way to Christ. See, we know from the Gospels that John was an incredible man, that people of his time were thinking, is he the Messiah? What did John say? I am not he. It took an incredible depth of spirituality, of knowing who God is, who he is, for John to play this role of recognizing Jesus as the Christ, the Messiah. And so to play that extraordinary role, God gave John an extraordinary gift. From the very day of his birth, he was a saint. That's what we honor today. But this feast has something to say to each one of us, too. See, none of us is called to be John the Baptist, but each of us is called to play some role in God's plan. There's something that God created you for, something that only you can do. And along with that call, God gives you the gifts of grace you need. Do it. Answer the call. God desires for you to be a saint. This is what he made you for. Along with that call, that vocation, he gives you every gift you need to respond to his invitation and his call. So today, how can you respond?